Alright, what's going on, guys? So the Season 3 patch for Black Ops Cold War is out now, and the other day I made a video detailing all of the changes that were coming to the game, but now that this patch is finally here, there's all of those updates we previously mentioned, plus some additional ones that we're going to cover in this video. I'm going to show you how the new Specialist works in Zombies. I'm also going to show you the new Outbreak map and plenty of other stuff. There's quite a lot of important things to talk about and discuss that were not included in the patch notes, and I think just giving you guys a basic rundown in my personal opinion of the new maps, the new specialist ability and everything like that will also be included here. So with that, as always, if you guys do enjoy today's video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up. That would be amazing. Make sure to subscribe also if you're new to the channel. If you enjoy Zombies content, this is the place to be. The release of Season 3 was pretty different to how they dropped content in the past. They basically put this update out in two parts. We had half of the patch, which was basically some rearranging and some changes to Outbreak, but none of the new specialist abilities or the maps were added yet. But with the release that came out a few hours ago, all of those previously mentioned things are now available now. And the gameplay you're seeing on screen right now is the new Onslaught map. To show you guys this a little bit, and we'll get to that later in the video, but I also went on here to test out the new Specialist Weapon, and speaking of which, let's discuss it. So the new field upgrade is obviously called Toxic Growth, and when fully upgraded has some very interesting properties. So in a way, you can almost think of this ability as a deployable barricade, or even like the barbed wire specialist from Black Ops 4. That's really what it reminds me of. Now, when fully upgraded, the Toxic Growth plants can be deployed virtually anywhere, and they will stay in that spot until their health runs out. And obviously, you know, killing zombies and, you know, any enemies at all dying within that thing will deplete its health, but can be easily replaced once it is fully upgraded, because you'll get 3 charges instead of 1 when you're starting out. It pretty much shreds regular enemies and greatly slows down boss enemies. So if any camping strategies you're running happen to be overrun with bosses like mimics or megatons, for example, it will completely shut them out. Now, in practical terms, and whether I think this is a field upgrade or specialist worth using, in co-op and in specifically camping strategies, even a few of the defend objectives with an Outbreak where you need to block off certain paths and reduce the traffic that's coming your way, this is going to be a really solid field upgrade to use because it lasts for so long, and it is pretty applicable in almost any scenario. But I will be honest, I don't think it's going to be the best thing to use in solo play, or even if you're really like a run and gun type player, you're not going to like this one too much, but it can completely block off spawn points, and so this makes some camping strategies like the one on D Machine or even Firebase C absolutely busted if you're playing co-op. One downside is that it's really not a great option for killing boss enemies. You know, sure, it's going to slow them down, but at the end of the day, you still have to deal with the massive amount of health that they still have. When your Toxic Growth is fully upgraded, it's still going to deal a fair amount of damage to the boss, but not nearly enough to fully kill them or anything. It's kind of like one of those energy mine field upgrade situations where, you know, it's maybe really useful in like one particular circumstance, but in terms of overall practical gameplay situations you might find yourself in, I don't think that Toxic Growth is the most applicable, especially for Outbreak. I'm definitely going to be still running things like Frenzied Guard and Ether Shroud, and then for camping strategies, Ring of Fire is still probably your best bet, but this one is like fairly fun to use, and again, is certainly much better co-op. Also, the map I'm playing right now is called Yamansu, and this is an Onslaught map, and because they fixed the Onslaught game mode to make it actually good, this map plays incredibly well in this mode in particular, and I would even say Toxic Growth is probably the best specialist to use in Onslaught in general. It's a very odd turn of events, but it is a quite good map. It's very pretty to look at, and it plays very well. The new lobby menu is very nice looking, and the battle pass is pretty stacked this time around, and in this particular one, we have 55 days in this battle pass, which is significantly longer than we had last season. A couple things you'll find of interest in this battle pass are things like the Ppsh Weapon. There's also a blueprint for it, which is unbelievably cool. It's unlocked at like tier 90, I think. Very nice operator skin, some pretty dope calling cards, and of course the regular double weapon XP and traditional XP tokens. Obviously, this stuff is to be expected with the release of a new season, but now I want to talk a little bit about Outbreak and everything that changed there. So this is where I would say the meat and potatoes of the Zombies content is right now, and I mean as in the release of Season 3. In this gameplay, I'm playing the new map called Duga, and I'm using the Ppsh on this, and so I was just testing this out, seeing how this map plays, and also seeing how this weapon plays out and interacts with this mode. Now, a couple things I notice about this map is, number one, there is a lot of intel and other little secrets hidden around. Now, as far as the main quest, we'll get to that in a minute, but there is quite a lot of small secrets and, you know, little like Easter eggs here and there to discover. So anybody who's interested in hunting these, I'm definitely going to be doing that very soon, and this is the definitely the map for you. I think I would go so far as to say this is the most interactive Outbreak map that we have so far. I think that they're really starting to like lean into the zombies elements of it instead of just repurposing an MP map and throwing zombies over top. They're actually integrating it, you know, with its own, you know, viable secrets and Easter eggs, things like that. This is not map specific, but they also addressed my biggest problem with Outbreak. Now, generally, I love the mode, but I didn't like the fact that once you got to round 12, you had a set rotation of objectives and maps for each given match, but that is no longer the case anymore. They've completely expanded them so you can play more of a variety of objectives on a variety of maps per game without having to reset. So if you're playing for an extremely high round, there's going to be a lot more replayability involved, and you're not just running the same ones over and over again and having to reset to get different challenges. This map is very vertically oriented. You can get on top of like these rafters and just these massive towers in the middle of the map, and you can use them to fly anywhere. There's also a few new additions with rifts, which I'll get to in a second too. Now, this map does not come with any new objectives like Sanatorium did with the Secure, but you can basically play every single challenge on this map. One of the things you may be wondering about is like, okay, we have 5 maps in Outbreak now, so what's the situation with the main Easter egg? Well, the main Easter egg is coming to Outbreak sometime this season, but it's not currently at the launch of it as of yet. As you guys know, Treyarch did mention to pay attention to like the intel, the in-game secrets. All of that is leading up and setting the stage for, you know, what's going to happen in the next round-based map, which is on the way, rest assured. I know a lot of you guys are wondering about that too. The reason I'm bringing that up is if we look at the calling cards for the Season 3 challenges, the Master card actually shows a huge zombie boss enemy, which appears to be a city in the background, which again could be the Berlin map, but I do believe that we are going to end up fighting something like this, whether again it's an Outbreak or the round-based map. It really does surprise me that they haven't implemented some of the larger boss enemies such as an Orda or, you know, something along those lines into this mode. It just seems like a perfect fit, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure they're going to do something like that in the future. Some other replayability changes were made to Outbreak as well. So every time you spawn into a map now, you used to spawn in the exact same place and run to the exact same location to do an objective. That is no longer the same situation. You might spawn on a different point of the map than we used to, and your objective could be located elsewhere. There are new locations for objectives, such as Golova has a new defend on the completely opposite end of the map near the river, like where the bridge is, so that is really cool to see. There's some other objectives that have been reworked in the maps that just work a lot better, if you ask me. Some changes were also made to ammo mods yet again. Now, Deadwire received another nerf. Now, to be honest, it is pretty much the worst ammo mod in the game now. It used to be the best, but right now Treyarch has absolutely nerfed it into the ground. However, with that being said, Napalm Burst has been buffed. It now deals over double its damage. This particular ammo mod is a huge step above what it used to be. Brain Rot no longer activates with melee kills, and Shatter Blast has been slightly nerfed as well. They wanted to do this to mix up the meta a little bit because it was literally just getting a shotgun with Deadwire, and I completely understand that. I still do think that the meta is either Napalm Burst or Cryo Freeze with a shotgun, because those are the ones that, you know, are still relatively up there, but Deadwire I wouldn't really use anymore. Also, the Ppsh weapon, which you guys of course are seeing on screen, a lot of zombie fans are going to be curious about. It is a good weapon on, you know, relatively low rounds, or what a, let's say an average zombies player would be doing. It's not going to be a high rounds gun, and it's not going to compete with shotguns, especially in Outbreak, at these higher objectives. One of the things that it really struggles with is armor penetration, and you're going to see that in a second, but also added to Outbreak are these rifts that can be located on the edge of these maps, you know, kind of near where the zone is, and what these do are basically like the Fortnite rift portals, where you jump into them and it's going to teleport you, put you extremely high up in the air so you can fly wherever you want. These are, I guess, just another way of transportation, and you can utilize them as such. Now, personally, I don't think that this is the entire use for it. I feel like these are going to be Easter egg related as soon as it's implemented in. It's just too suspect not to be part of that. But as of right now, its primary purpose is to relocate you somewhere on the map and give you an opportunity, you know, to land elsewhere without having to run an extremely long distance or find a car, something like that. I don't think it's really practical while you're doing some objectives, but I suppose it is there and always an option. Also, Treyarch did something unbelievably weird with the movement. So if you haven't played Cold War, let's say like a week ago, then the movement was how it was at when, you know, when the game launched. You could slide, and, you know, the slide cancel was pretty popular, and that had never really been changed. But it gets weird because like last night with the half update, they completely nerfed slide canceling into the ground. They removed all the sauce. You could not do anything interesting with it anymore. But after the, I guess, full patch, or the one that came out just a few hours ago, they have brought it back to some degree, but not in its original form like it once was. It's really hard to explain, and you probably have to go in and test it in game for yourself, but it's not completely nerfed into the ground anymore. You can still slide cancel, but it doesn't feel as powerful or like rigid as it used to be. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure out a lot of the new like kinks in the movement mechanic system and what you can and cannot do, so I'm still trying to discover it for myself, but slide canceling still is viable and you can do it. It feels a little bit different than it used to be. So overall, in terms of this patch, I am pretty happy with it. Like, I think all things considered, we have a lot more content than what we, I guess, assumed we were getting when we read the Season 3 patch notes. There's really a lot to play, and you know, just sort of expanding and really filling in this new mode. And of course, the round-based mode is on the way. And I just wanted to quickly address as well, it's like, I'm perfectly okay with them investing into Outbreak right now, because this really feels like there's a lot more potential here as soon as they, you know, are able to get all the infrastructure in and really grasp what this concept could be. I know we're all anxious for a new round-based map, and again, it's coming. I'm very anxious for it too, but I am okay with waiting insofar as the product is going to be better for it, and I think that's sort of what they're doing. Because, you know, people, I recall people at the beginning of Cold War's life cycle with D Machine and Firebase C sort of complaining that they were getting bored of the maps and they wanted something new. Treyarch releases this, you know, unexpected side game mode called Outbreak, and then people like it for a bit, and then they're like, nah, we're bored, we want more round-based maps, and then the cycle's going to repeat. So at the end of the day, I would say just enjoy the content that we do have now, and, you know, I guess take it in stride. We are going to be getting the new map very, very soon. I do think that it will be worth the wait for the Outbreak Easter egg and even the next Zombies map. They are going to be absolutely phenomenal, and I guess we just need to show a little bit of patience in order for Treyarch to completely polish them and make sure that they're ready on release instead of forcing out a product that isn't quite done yet. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for the patch today. Let me know what you guys think of the release of Season 3, and what are you excited for, and what are you currently enjoying right now? Are you excited for the Outbreak stuff, or are you ready for the next Zombies map? Let me know your opinions down below. If you guys did enjoy, though, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're brand new, and I do stream zombies almost every day on Twitch. You can follow that down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for the support, both on YouTube and on Twitch recently. It has been very humbling, so thank you very much, and have a great Easter day, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, and peace out.